Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you could tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about Spyral, a very expensive deck that I don't suggest anyone buy, but is incredibly fun. So let's quickly talk about this. Obviously, this is for the Link Festival, and this is also kind of my just first impressions with the deck and how it functions. This is a very, very complicated deck that I will definitely be revisiting and playing more of. Because, one, it's very fun. It's very difficult to learn and to master, but it makes it very enjoyable when you actually are able to play the game. And two, and probably more importantly, it is incredibly powerful. There are a lot of different things that you can go for. But it is very expensive, and so I want to get my investment out of this. So let's quickly talk about the deck. I'm going to do a very basic rundown of the deck, and it's going to take a while, so strap in. First of all, we have Quick Fix. Quick Fix searches out one of your gears, that either being Drone or Big Red, and allows you on normal or special, not once per turn. Also, it can special summon itself back from the graveyard, and guess what? Big Red is also a monster reborn, basically. Next up, we have Drone. Drone stacks at the top of your opponent's deck, which can be utilized with other effects on summon, not once per turn as well. Also, you can banish it from the graveyard to add back a super agent in your grave. This includes double Helix as well as the obvious Spyral agent. Magician's Souls was basically designed for this deck. Reason being, it sends Master Plan for cost, which Master Plan you want to get onto the field as well as into the graveyard, because of course you can Monster Reborn it. And it draws us cards by sending spells and traps. Now, the spells and traps have insane effects in the graveyard. Most notably, Rescue is a Monster Reborn at quick effect speed from the grave. Why is this the case? I don't know. It's also not once per turn. Great, fantastic. Its on-field effect basically doesn't matter. So, there's that. Next up, obviously, we're playing Triple Ash Blossom, a necessary. We are playing the Triple Super Agent. Spyral Super Agent can special summon itself by declaring a card type, monster, spell, or trap, and then looking at the top card of your opponent's deck, and if it is the declared type, you get to special summon this. So, paired with Drone, you are able to go Drone in order to then special summon the Super Agent, which can also stack your opponent's deck, and it keeps the card on top of the deck. So, if, for example, your opponent has something like Cyframe Gear Gamma, or not Gamma, Driver, all of a sudden you can stack that Driver onto the top of the deck and make sure that they draw it. Great. You basically give your opponent a dead card, which is very nice. We have a one tough. This is kind of for corner cases. It never really came up for me, but it is nice to have just as an extender, and more specifically just an additional way to interact with your opponent. Next up, we have Last Resort. This card is also searchable off of the Quick Fix, and most importantly, since it is a monster, it's also searchable off of Resort. This card allows you to basically protect your monster. It's just an equip card. That's basically it. It's just a myriad of protection. Protecting from targeting, protecting from destruction, all of that stuff. Moving on, we have one Codebreaker 0 Day for the Codebreaker package. We have two Master Plan, because for some reason this card is neither limited nor banned for... Genuinely, I have no idea. But this card is absolutely crazy. On the field, once per turn, add a Spyral mission from your deck to your hand. Just not hard once per turn, not once per duel, just whenever. Just add it. There you go. As long as it's on the field, just add it. This allows us to add Mission Rescue as well as Assault. Two cards that are basically allowing you to special summon monsters. Very good. Next up, we have the, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a Resort and a Spyral monster from your deck to your hand. That's where it kind of gets crazy. You not only get two cards out of it, but it's also pretty easy to summon thanks to Big Red, as well as being able to dump it off of a myriad of things, as well as Rescue, as well as, you know, just a whole bunch of different things. We are then playing one Spyral Sleeper. This card can banish 3 Spyral cards to special summon itself, and it is a pop during your opponent's turn. It's actually basically a Treacherous Trap Hole. So yeah, there's that. 2 cards. Bye-bye. We are playing 2 Nibiru, 1 Harpy's Feather Dust, and 1 Monster Reborn, because we wanted to reborn things like Master Plan and the like. We have 1 Foolish Burial to dump Master Plan and the like. We have 1 Rhoda to search out our Super Agent, as well as any other cards. We have 1 1-for-1, because these cards are level 1s, which allows us to get a whole bunch of advantage. We have Where Art Thou, which if you control a level 1, you can add another level 1 from your deck to your hand. So if you go something like Magician's Souls, you can add another one to your hand. or like another one of these guys, or you can also go, like, if you have a drone, you can search out the Magician's Souls. Again, just a very good card. Then we have the Big Red, which is a Monster Reborn. We have Resort, which searches a Spyral monster from your deck to your hand, and during the end phase, you just have to shuffle in a monster from your graveyard into the deck, or destroy the card. So it's very nice. It's, again, not a hard once per turn, so if you have multiple, which in the Link event, it is limited to 1. In regular Master Duel, it is not. So if you have more, you could just continually search. I don't know why this is the case, but it is. We have Assault. This card is in the graveyard. You can banish it to special summon a monster from your hand, and it technically draws you cards. We have 2 Twin Twister, because not only do we want to be able to pop our own cards, but being able to pop our opponent's cards with discard is very advantageous. So there's that. We have the Double Call Bite. We have Triple Droplet. Again, discarding cards is very important. And then, of course, we have the Triple Rescue. And we're playing more than 40 cards because there are quite a few bricks in this deck that we don't want to see. Most notably, things like Zero Day, Last Resort, even Master Plan, we don't really want to see in our hand at the start. So we're playing a little over the 40 just so that we have a little bit easier time seeing the cards that we actually want. As for the extra deck, as you can see, it is a lot of very expensive cards. We have 1 Link Karibo. This card is very important to get your level 1s off of the field if you need to. We have 2 Double Helix. This is the heart and soul of the deck. Basically, it becomes Super Agent on the field. Also, it reveals the top card of your opponent's deck, similar to this guy. However, it special summons from the deck instead of specialing itself from the hand. So, kind of interesting. You can either special summon it, or you can send it to the, or add it to the hand. It can also special summon from grave. Forgot about that. This card is absolutely crazy and just makes the deck go round. So we're playing 2 of it. We have Nightmare Phoenix because it draws cards. That's actually one of the things that we can do. Most of the time, Nightmare Phoenix is just played to pop cards, but no, you can actually co-link it, and then you're able to draw cards, which is really crazy. We're playing IP Masquerena with Zeraboros because, again, guess what? This is a quick effect. On the opponent's turn, special summon, meaning you can go IP Masquerena into the Zeraboros, go for the rescue, bring back the monster into the Zeraboros zone, banish the entire field, and then bring back the Zeraboros to punch for a lot of damage. That's a thing that you can do. Why is that the case? I don't know. Anyway, we have Barricade Borg Blocker, which protects your continuous and field spells, which is a thing. We have Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, as well as the Virus Berserker for extra link material. We have a Nightmare Unicorn. We have a Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche, although this could actually be cut. This is not actually used in this because we're not playing the Phantom Knight cards. So, forget I said that one. We have the Celine. This card is very good because it brings back the Master Plan, because Master Plan, for some reason, is a spellcaster. Why? I don't know. Anyway, we are playing Saryuya Skull Dread. We are playing the 1 Apollosa, the Zeraboros, and the Access Code Talker. So that's the deck. Let's hop into the replays and see how this deck performs. Dear Lanta. Alright, so here we are in the first duel, and as you can see, we are going first. We drew a pretty stellar hand. We drew Magician's Souls as well as Quick Fix. So, let's start off with the Magician's Souls here in order to send the Master Plan to the graveyard, as well as sending the Rescue and Twin Twister in order to draw 2 new cards. These are 2 pretty good cards, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna go for the Rescue here in order to bring out the Master Plan, and then we are going to normal summon, we're gonna activate its effect in order to add another Rescue to our hand. Again, that is not a once per turn revive. We're gonna go for the Quick Fix here in order to add the Big Red, which again is another Monster Reborn. Lots of Monster Reborns here. Now that we have 2 Spyral monsters on our side of the field, we are able to go into Double Helix. Double Helix will then trigger the Link Summon will then trigger the Master Plan, which will search out the Resort as well as Sleeper here. We're going to go for the Resort. Resort effect will activate in order to search out Last Resort. This card is very good, as I had previously mentioned. We are then going to activate the effect of the Spyral Super Agent. Now, I could have gone for the 1-for-1 here to pitch something from my hand like the Last Resort or what have you, in order to get a drone onto our side of the field to do this and like guarantee the special summon from the Super Agent, but I took the chance and called a monster. Turns out it was not. It was Sea Stealth 2, which if you don't know, is Umi. So now I know that we are playing against Umi control, so I will plan my board accordingly. This is one of the insane powers that Spyral has, and why it was tier 1 and tier 0 for so long. Sure, being able to make an incredible board through various different things is very nice, but being able to craft your board specifically for your opponent is really what makes it shine, and you will see that here. So we are going to go for the Quick Fix here, and we're going to activate its effect because we are able to discard the Rescue to special summon it, since we have a Spyral Super Agent on our side of the field. We're then going to pitch the drone for the drone because it also fuels the sleeper, and we are going to change the order of our opponent's cards. I'm going to give them the Fury of Kairyu-Shin. The reason for this is because I don't want them to have Umi for their field, so instead of giving them the Sea Stealth 2, which happens to be Umi, I instead give them the Fury of Kairyu-Shin. I'm not really too worried about a Torrential Tribute because, again, we have so many ways to reborn from the grave. We're then going to go and link off 2 of our monsters in order to go for Selene. The reason I do this is because we want to bring back the master plan to get another search. So we're going to go for the Selene here, and we also happen to have 3 spells in our grave. On the field. So now we are going to go for the Assault here, and the reason I do this is so that we can special summon another monster from our hand if we so need to. We're then going to link off into the Virus Swordsman, and then special summon out the Codebreaker, and then we will go for the Codebreaker, Virus Berserker, and we don't have enough link arrows to special summon both the materials, but we will special summon back the Virus Swordsman. We're then going to link off once again into an IP Masquerena, and then we are going to go and activate the Assault as well as the Big Red. Now, I don't really realistically, I shouldn't have activated the Assault here. I should have kept it in hand, because with this IP Masquerena play, I'm like, hey, there's a good chance that I could actually go for the Zeraboros here, because we can go and link this one and this one off for our Zeraboros. So that was kind of my thought process. Realistically, shouldn't have gone for the Assault if I was planning to do that. Anyway, we're going to go for the Master Plan to grab another rescue to our hand, and then we are going to link off the Master Plan and the Selene in order to go for a 2-mat Appaloosa. Now this deck, or this hand doesn't look, or board I should say, doesn't look nearly all, like it looks pretty bad, let's be honest with ourselves. But one thing that it does do is that we have these cards that are able to float, and more specifically, we have IP Masquerena that could go into a myriad of different things, and most importantly, since I have crafted this specifically to play around things like back row and more of a control strategy, I'm not really worried about dying so much as I am, like, being able to have additional follow-up. And Super Agent, if you didn't know, if it special summons itself with, or if it special summons with the effect of a Spyral card, including itself, it can pop a spell and trap. This means we can deal with Umi if we so need to. So, yeah, there's that. We're basically playing around Umi. As you can see, the board has changed from what normally you would do, but the thing is, with Spyral, you're entirely crafting your board according to what you see. I go for the Appaloosa here because there are monster effects that we do need to negate, most notably the thing that searches out the Umi or what have you, but more importantly, it just gets a monster off of the field that we didn't really want on the field. I want to be able to use this Appaloosa, which I know won't be very valuable, with the IP Masquerena to go into a Zeraboros, allowing me to use the Zeraboros to then banish the field. Or I could potentially use it even to go into a Unicorn to shuffle something away if I need to as well. So that's the plan. So let's pass the turn back to them. And out comes the Warrior of Atlantis. This is pretty good. This is like the only thing that's worth negating basically at all. So of course that is what we are going to negate. They're then going to activate their Fury of the Kairyu-Shin, which allows them to add the Torrential Tribute. Sure. They're going to go and activate their Sea Stealth Attack 2, or Sea Stealth 2, which, okay, not really anything I can do about that, and then activate Legendary Ocean. This one in particular is the one that we want to stop. If my opponent has a level 5 Kairyu-Shin in their hand, this allows them to normal summon it. So, of course, I'm going to activate my IP Masquerena, and we are going to, instead of going for the Zeraboros, I'm going to actually go for the Nightmare Unicorn to pitch the rescue here. And then we can just shuffle that card away. So they set the Torrential Tribute, and now they're going to go for a Coral Anemone to bring out their monster once again. Okay, so we do have to play around the Torrential Tribute, but that's not really that big of a deal. We're going to go for Drone here, and we're going to activate the effect in order to stack their deck and pass the turn. At this point, I'm actually very low on the timer, so I do make some hasty plays. Anyway, we are going to go for the Spyral Super Agent, and we are going to pop the Umi. You might be wondering, why did I not pop the Torrential Tribute? Well, because they would have just activated it there, and realistically, I want to get rid of the Umi as well. I think that is more important. We are also going to draw into the Magician's Souls and search out Tough. The reason I search out Tough, no real reason. Anyway, we're going to go for the Nightmare Phoenix in order to pitch a card to draw a card and force out the Torrential Tribute. Out comes the Torrential Tribute. Cool. Anyway, if you're wondering why Nightmare Unicorn is not destroyed, if it's code-linked, it's not destroyed. So yeah, there's that. We're going to bring back the double helix with a rescue, and then we are going to call monster card because we've stacked the deck. We're going to go for the quick fix here in order to grab up the big red once again, and then just go into access code talker. At this point, the game is basically over. We can go access code talker, pop up both of their monsters, special summon out sleeper, and win the game, as you will see in a second. So we're going to do that, pop, special summon out your boy, and proceed to battle. I'm going to attack with everything because I can, and there you go. Good game. Alright, so this duel, we don't actually get a very good hand. It's okay, but Spyral does tend to brick, and again, this is, I don't know, it's hard to really say why that's the case, but anyway, we're going to go for the Foolish Burial here. They will activate their Max C, and we are going to ash that just so that they don't. We're going to go for the Master Plan here. We're going to special summon it back, and then we will go and activate its effect in order to go for Assault here. We're going to set 2 and pass, so we have the Called By as well as the Rescue. Basically, that's it. That's all that we can do. Realistically, I could have sent something like Quick Fix, and then we could have gone into Link Karibo, which could have gotten us another big red, which could have gotten us... yeah, nothing. There isn't really a whole lot that we could have done there. Maybe we go Quick Fix, and then we can go like double Helix, and then maybe call something right. I do think that going for the Master Plan here, though, is a little bit better. Reason being, it gets our combo online if our opponent ends up dealing with this monster and sending it to the graveyard. So there's that. Anyway, they're going to go for their Karos here, dumping the kit. I am going to Called By the kit because Called By is a fair and balanced card, and it stops their turn entirely. They're going to set 1 and pass. Cool. Okay, we just need to draw not that. It's not the worst, but also it kind of doesn't do anything right now. So we're just going to set 2 and pass and hope that we don't die. Out comes the Nightmare Phoenix. They are going to dump themselves a Tri-Brigade Revolt, which is interesting. And they are going to pop the Big Red. Guess what? Big Red does not destroy the monster if it is destroyed. It doesn't do anything to the monster if it's dealt with. Just so you know. Anyway, we're going to draw into Quick Fix. Quite possibly the best draw in the deck. And then we have 3 rescues at our disposal. So, at this point, we will be able to basically combo off for free. We're going to go for the Spyral Double Helix, as well as we ended up searching out the Drone. We're then going to search out the Secret Agent and the Resort. We're going to go for a Resort here in order to search out the Sleeper Agent, as well as calling monster cards, which we just happened to call correctly. This was entirely a guess. I had no plan of calling anything, but if we go for the Super, or the double helix here, we could basically get a guaranteed super agent, so that was ultimately the plan. Turns out didn't need it. And then I accidentally activate the effective drone here because I'm stupid. Anyway, we're gonna go for the super agent calling monster again, and then going into the quick fix. Quick fix will then allow us to go into big red, or search out the big red, and then we can banish the card that we discarded earlier, the Assault, to special summon the drone from hand. This was originally what I was supposed to do, but I didn't, and I just called it correctly, so it didn't matter. Anyway, we're going to go for the Barricade Board Blocker, just to discard a card. That is literally the only reason. And then we are going to special summon out the Master Plan, and then we are going to go for the Nightmare Unicorn, which also, since it is co-linked, will allow us to draw a card and spin away their Gradle. We're then going to pop 2 of our own cards with Rescue in order to just get them into the graveyard. Now we can go and link off 3 material into the Selene. We're going to go for the Selene. I guess it's 2 material, but 3 link rating worth. And then we're going to go into access code. At this point, we do have lethal, so we don't really need to do much else. So we're just going to pop their monster and then proceed to battle phase. We're going to attack for 1, 2, and lethal. Good game. We actually had 2 reborns there. We still had a rescue in grave, as well as the big red on in our hand. So we could have done quite a bit more there as well. So, yeah, that's the deck. It's rather interesting, and it does tend to brick. I'm sure that you could play things like Dangers and the like to make things less bricky, but this is kind of the deck that I wanted to go with, just to get a basic understanding of what the deck did and what we were able to play. Some notable things are, you should almost always be playing the Codebreaker stuff. There are so many times where you have access to a lot of link arrows, and can co-link things pretty easily, and so just going for the Codebreaker stuff to gain additional access to a lot of that is very useful. If you are playing not in the event, which, good for you, there are a lot of Xyz that you can go for. A lot of people are playing Rongo with the Duel hand in order to go into a basically 5-mat Rongo, which is pretty nice. And there are a myriad of other things that you can go into as well. Things like Abyss Dweller, things like Baguska, and the like. There is a lot that you can actually do there, so there's that. But most of it is just link summoning. It's just a lot of link summoning, and it works beautifully. Little bit bricky, but overall still very good. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.